Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
This is Movies with Ron.
My name's Chris. I'm your MC for the time being. Across from me is Rick.
How's it going, everybody?
He's going good.
He's our sound guy. And also with us tonight,
Dun, dun, dun.
the Kong to our Skull Island,
Yes.
Mr. Ron.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back.
Saw the second trailer to that movie.
I haven't seen that yet.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen the posters, though. He looks pretty fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
There's like many animals that are his size on that island.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, then what
There's
the
like a
hell's...
giant elk.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's Skull Island, dude. So it's not just Kong. I think, they're opening something up. It reminds me of what I wanted to bring up. This year is like a disappointing year for movies. Like, for real. Like, so many big movies came out that tanked, especially last summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like, it seems epidemic. Like, think about how much money they spent on, like, Independence Day 2.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like, holy shit.
Well, hold on now. What about this Doctor Strange? That sounded like a damn fine film.
That doesn't mean there haven't been successful movies. It's just been
okay.
there's been so many that did terrible.
No,
Yeah, with the Marvel thing, they're safe. They're like printing money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Marvel is that they don't pay anybody any money. Like, they don't even want to have Robert Downey anymore,
Oh, yeah.
because he's so expensive, and they've cornered the market on an audience, right? And so it's great to work for them. And they know that, so they're not going to pay you anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody gets paid at Marvel.
Yeah, I heard, I don't know, it's just a rumor at this point, but Iron Man 4, and there will be one, says the rumor, won't have Robert Downey Jr., but will star instead the kid from Iron Man 3. He's going to, take it over.
Really?
That's just what the rumor said.
I kind of gave up on the Iron Mans.
I'm
The second one sucked, and I was excited about Ben Kingsley. Then they did that thing where he's not the bad guy,
yeah, I know.
and a lot of people got pissed off with
Did
that.
you ever see the one shot where fucking Scoot McNairy, or whatever his name is, goes into prison to visit that guy, Ben Kingsley, the Mandarin. Goes in to visit him, and he's sitting down, having a fucking interview with him and shit. And the guy's Ben Kingsley's oh yeah, it was just a big fucked up job, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And then Scoot McNairy is yeah, well, I work for the real Mandarin. And then he shows his tattoo, and it's the 10 rings, and he's and he wants his name back. And he's about to kill him, and then it ends. It's a little short film. It's really
really?
cool, yeah.
Is it seriously was made?
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, they did a big series of what they called
I think
One-shots.
they realized that they had to do that. People got pissed at that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's been a bad year, but we got Kong Skull Island, Rogue One, Ghost in the Shell. Looks all right.
Yeah.
All right, here's one I didn't expect because I saw marketing for it, and I was like, what the fuck? And I hate that girl, but it's Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
I've only read the title. I have no idea what that is.
It's a new Luc Besson movie. And in the trailer, it's from the dude who made Fifth Element.
Yeah.
And you watch this trailer, and it looks like a fucking sequel to Fifth Element.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it looks so good. It's this big world, and it's another, I guess it's a comic book adaptation, but it's that Luc Besson guy.
All right, cool.
So you've got a lot of that influence. Hey, do you remember Shelley Duvall?
Yeah.
What was she from?
The Shining.
She was the mom.
Mm-hmm. And she
In The
played
Shining.
Olive Oil in Popeye.
Yeah, those are her two big ones for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was on Dr. Phil.
Oh.
Yeah. Fucking.
She was on Dr. Phil fucking?
Now, I just heard this. I didn't see it. So I got I could be all wrong. But she's got mental problems, put on a lot of weight.
Yeah.
She thinks a wasp invaded her body and is in her spine and is affecting her in devious ways.
What if she's right?
God, no, she's not right. She thinks people are shape-shifting. She was asked about Robin Williams, and she's like, he's alive. He's just in a different form. He's a shapeshifter.
Oh, Jesus.
That part was on the radio. I heard that shit, and I was like, what the fuck? Dr. Phil's supposed to be helping people, not pandering to conspiracy shit. But, okay, so she's like, someone's hurting me in my sleep, and I don't know who. Okay. There's a man who's hurting me, and he's like, who is hurting you? She's like, the sheriff of Nottingham.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, man. She's she needs help. Yeah, I don't know.
So some guy's hurting her in her sleep.
Yeah.
What if it's like, what if it's her boyfriend who's sleeping next to her, and he is an actual sheriff in a town called Nottingham?
I've been in the service for 20 years. There's like Paris, Texas, and Nottingham, Kansas. Oh yeah, that's where we live. She's on Dr. Phil. He's like, oh,
He's hurting me. He's hurting me in my sleep.
So they bring him out, and he's like, that shape shifting shit. She's crazy. I am the fucking sheriff of Nottingham.
I put this wasp in her bed. I have no idea where that shit went.
No idea where that shit went. Like it would serve some other purpose.
Yeah, it was just supposed to sting her.
It was my bed wasp.
Oh, man.
And then one day it was gone.
He was just trying to hurt her in her sleep.
Right. All right, I got you. All right. So The Arrival.
Yeah, man.
I hate it.
You hate what?
Well, I liked it because it was like a Twilight Zone episode.
So why do you hate it? Oh, no.
Okay, so in that movie, they know what's going to happen at the end, right?
One person knows.
Well, that language is supposed to like spread it.
Yeah.
That's the end game. And I was like listening to the recap while I'm editing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I know what's going to happen. So it's my editing is like a double-ended sentence.
Yes.
And like you saw the flashbacks or the flash forwards
Yeah.
of her with the child.
In the beginning, before you
You
knew.
see it in the beginning. Is she seeing it then?
That's just it, is you don't know.
Yeah.
Those flashbacks happen before we even meet Amy Adams in the movie. They're just scenes of her and her daughter growing up together, and then the daughter dies. And then we open up with Amy Adams at the college, which was actually the beginning of the movie. This was done to fool us.
Yeah, that's why I kind of felt like the audience is cheated.
Oh, I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Nah.
It seems like a device, but
Yeah, it's definitely a device, but it worked.
I don't know, for any reason, would she have been having the visions beforehand?
No.
I mean, that could solve it, but okay. I got a recommendation for everyone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
From 1985. You remember My Science Project?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We had a VHS of that. It was like kicking around our childhood.
Oh, dude, that movie has a sacred place in my heart.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit. It's not the greatest movie, but to me, like, it is one of them, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking, I grew up on that shit, and I just loved it through and through.
It's like, it's about high school grease monkeys.
Uh-huh.
Is that what they are? They're the kids in high school who would work on cars. And they're kind of that, like, low attention span ADD generation. But, like, the main dude, the main grease monkey, like, ends up falling for some nerd girl.
Yeah.
And this is all revolved around, they find this device
Yeah.
that opens up, like, a time portal.
A time warp, yeah.
Yeah. Does it start doing that right away?
Not right away.
It's been a while since I've seen
No,
it.
he's gonna fail his science project that's going on in high school,
Okay.
and I think he's driving past a U.S. Air Force base, and his car shuts out. It stops.
Oh yeah, that happened. Oh, totally.
Or something.
He has the device with him in the car.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie, but I love it.
They don't know it's a time machine until they bring it to Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he figures it out, and he's like their hippie kind of teacher there at the school.
Well, they go ahead.
And well, I realize we're giving too much away, but yeah, you guys should see this movie. They figure out they can go to different times, but it ends up bringing time to them, and the best Tyrannosaurus Rex before Jurassic Park.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's one of the milestones. See, I was thinking about young listeners,
Uh-huh.
and this I feel because we grew up in this particular time, we saw that transition, and we never used to have CGI.
Yeah.
When you watch this movie, this is the best it got.
Oh, yeah,
and
man.
it was a cool T-Rex.
Yeah, it is obviously a puppet,
Yeah,
but damn, dude. They
And-
did such a good job. It's God Funking Zilla.
and his sidekick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Vinny,
that guy's got a name.
the actor.
He's more of a face than a name, but
Yeah, that's Fisher Stevens.
I love
Fisher
that guy.
Stevens.
He was okay.
Otherwise known
he had that locked
as
and loaded.
I don't know. But he was in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
He also played the
the
big bad guy in
Hackers.
Hackers.
Hackers. Yeah, He's like the bad guy on a skateboard.
Yeah.
yeah.
These fucking kids.
But this fucking movie, dude, in my science project, he fucking owns that shit.
Oh yeah.
He just like rules the entire movie. It's weird because he's not the main character, but he is like the driving force behind the entire film.
A lot of value in his supporting role.
Like unbelievably so.
Why do you wear your sunglasses at night?
Because when you're cool,
The sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
What else about it? Did you watch it?
I did. The main character, Mike.
Yeah.
You know this actor?
He
His name's
was.
John Stockwell.
I remember him from Christine.
He was the star of Christine.
Yeah.
Well, the co-star.
Yeah.
He was also Cougar from Top Gun. Okay? And those three roles, those two and then this one,
Yeah.
those are his main three acting roles. You
Really?
guys want to know what he does now?
What?
He directs movies. And he went on to do such acclaimed Academy Award-winning hits as Into the Blue and Blue Crush and the movie Turistas. That's him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man.
He made him.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
shit.
a fucking director. And here's the thing. I was reading an interview with him, and he was like, yeah, you know, there's this quote where he's like, the life of a screenwriter, it's really lonely, but you do get to spend a whole lot of time in Hawaii. And it's like, that's the whole thing. Like, that's why he made those movies. He was like, well, you know, I'd like to live in Hawaii for 6 months. So he's going to fucking write a movie about surfing.
Well, good for him.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of T-Rexes, you guys remember Theodore Rex?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like an animated thing.
No, it's live action.
All right.
This T-Rex isn't as good. It's a guy in a suit, but it's him. It's the future, and it's a T-Rex and Whoopi Goldberg are partners.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Remember
okay.
that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because thinking about the 90s got me thinking about that and how that was such a special decade for movies because producers would just like, a Whoopi Goldberg and a dinosaur, do it.
Yeah.
You know, they would throw anything they wanted
Oh,
at
hell
you.
yeah.
It's a lot more calculated nowadays.
I know.
The 90s,
You know what? We need a cop, and his partner is a kid. We need a cop, and his partner is a dog.
Oh, yeah. Lots of animals.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of animals doing human shit. All right. Here we go. Suburban Commando.
Oh, God, yes.
Hulk Hogan's like an alien, isn't he?
Yeah.
Comes down to Earth,
To fight off other aliens.
and he helps out Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's like a dad, but you've only ever, as a kid watching it, you've only ever seen him from Back to the Future, and you're like, he's the dad? Spice World.
Love
Huh?
it. Loved it.
Yeah, it's like a band, and they got to make a movie and like make their own origin story.
I
It's
know.
like the ultimate selfishness, but like they accomplished it.
Fucking weird ass shit to watch, too, man.
Baby Geniuses. Babies, but make them smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exit to Eden. A Rosie O'Donnell, Dan Aykroyd BDSM comedy.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what the...
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
for real.
Okay. Ed. Okay? Movie called Ed. Take Joey from Friends and a chimp and make him play baseball. Kazam. All right? People love genies and they love Shaq. Right? Put him in a movie.
Oh my God.
Clifford. You remember Clifford? It's like Martin Short, and he plays the problem child. But at the time, he's like 40 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And he would be like walking on his knees through the movie.
I
Like,
know,
like
yeah.
he would have to be like rolled in order to play a little kid because he's like a little guy.
yeah.
Junior?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get
Pregnant
the Terminator
man.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Remember Toys, that Robin Williams movie?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, make it look like it's for kids. That movie's like a nightmare.
I know.
Yeah. It's Pat. All right.
Yeah.
Some fucking SNL skits get turned into movies. Happened a lot in the 90s.
A
But
whole
by the
bunch.
time It's Pat came out, it was like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like they were running out. Okay. Theodore Rex talked about that. The Phantom. Billy Zane dressing in purple, fighting crime. Yeah. Remember The Phantom? I saw that shit in the theater.
Oh, my God.
I was young. I thought it was cool.
I was never fooled by that.
What is what is that movie? It's like for some reason it was closely related to Phantom for me.
The Shadow.
Alec
Yeah.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
The Shadow. Alec
Okay.
Baldwin. Last but not least, my guilty pleasure, The Beautician and the Beast.
Oh, my
Right.
God.
Fran Drescher, but make it like The King and I.
With 007.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good movie, though. Put Fran Drescher in anything and I'll watch it. The Nanny is like a work of art.
Is it?
Yeah. So, you guys got your buddy action comedies?
It was supposed to be an action comedy?
What?
Well, action / comedy or. So, do whatever you want.
Sure.
All right. Mine is both.
Good for you.
But that's the game we were discussing last week. This week,
I knew it was about buddies.
yeah. After the recap, we're going to pitch a buddy action / comedy. Or action or comedy. All right. So that'll be after the recap. So, Ron, what'd you go see?
Oh, man. I gotta be honest, man. I didn't go see shit.
What?
I guess we're gonna have to do my science project.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we're doing one of those episodes?
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh.
You're popping our cherry?
Let's do this.
All right.
All right, now, my
We already
reasoning...
got a lot of it done.
Well,
That Shelley Duvall bit took up a lot.
here's the thing. You guys tried. You got an awful lot of it wrong,
We
which
had
is
our
why I didn't really chime in too much.
Okay. People listening are like, I can't wait for the T-Rex.
Oh, it's coming, baby. All right, now here's the thing. I do kind of feel bad, because this weekend, out in theaters, there was that fucking Harry Potter shit, the Fantastic Beasts, and Where to Find Them. Right?
Yeah.
You know how much I love Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
I know. These
So-
are supposed to be good, though.
Oh,
I actually
okay.
kind of want to see it.
Really?
And, they're making 5 of them.
Well, of course.
You know who signed a contract and is going to start being in them?
Colin Farrell.
Fucking Johnny Depp.
Jesus Christ.
Well, there you go. That's going to take off.
Oh, yeah.
You think? We got Johnny.
We got Johnny.
Do you guys like money?
We can save a lot of money on screenwriting. Just get the guy's cousin to do it. It'll still work. We got Johnny.
Hope you like money. All right, so there was that. Now I feel bad. Now I genuinely feel bad for not... I already felt bad, and I'll tell you why. Then there was also The Take with Idris Elba.
Ooh.
Okay? Big
Yeah.
Driss.
Yeah.
All right? Now I do love Big Driss. But here's the thing. Now, and that was actually what I was planning on going to see. But then when I asked you what your recommendation was going to be, you said My Science Project, and my heart skipped a fucking beat. because it has been so long since I fucking thought about that movie. Okay. And I was like, oh shit. You know, because usually I try to watch your recommendations like beforehand now so I can kind of take part a little bit. And I started watching it and I was like, there is no way that I am not doing this movie.
All right.
This is like the fucking banner for my fucking formative years. I fucking love this movie, okay? And when you watch it, okay, it is not a critically great film, you know? But,
Yeah.
man, it just meant so much to me as a kid. And here's the thing about my science project. It was actually, in 1985, that was the year, okay, for teen sci-fi comedies. All right? We had Back to the Future, Real Genius. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Weird Science, and My Science Project. Those all came out in the same fucking year.
Jesus.
Isn't that fucking weird?
That is weird.
Okay, now those were all fucking fantastic movies. Okay, My Science Project performed the worst of all of them,
Yeah.
but it is not my least favorite. My least favorite would probably be Weird Science, but
Yeah,
I
me
still
too.
love that movie.
Yeah.
You know, fucking Chet, Bill Paxton and that
Yeah.
shit.
God, 1985.
1985.
You missed it, Rick.
Yeah, I was not even around. But you know what? I caught it on VHS, and I was watching that shit.
Hell yeah. You're going to catch it again now.
Yeah.
Take a little nip here off of the drink of the show.
What's that, Ron?
Fireball.
Ignite the night.
Ignite the night on Movies with Ron with Fireball.
Oh my god. Now you got me thinking about the Running Man. Fireball to wardrobe. Fireball to wardrobe.
Fireball's in there like watching his buddies die. Come on, win one for Buzzsaw. Come on. Who was your fucking favorite? What were they called?
Okay. Sub-Zero.
No.
Oh, no, okay.
What were they were called, like the Gladiators or the Enforcers, or they had a name for their team,
Stalker.
the Stalkers.
Yes.
Who was your favorite Stalker in The Running Man?
I can't even remember them all.
Ah, fuck you.
I like,
right, Rick.
I like the light bright guy.
All right, he's my
You-
favorite.
You see him in a diaper. He's my favorite because he comes the closest to like getting laid.
Yeah.
He's like in the bathroom with the girl.
His name's fucking Dynamo.
Oh.
Yeah, he's fucking opera
like-
singer and shit. Oh, clap if you love Dynamo.
It was
He
pretty
like-
dirty.
He like called her a bitch. Oh yeah, he's like, why aren't you laughing? You bitch.
My favorite was Buzzsaw.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
was that?
Uh,
The chainsaw guy.
He was like, this saw's a part of me. Now I'm going to make it a part of you. What the hell was up with his eyes? Like he was wearing contacts. I mean, like the lights were red when he was fighting Arnold,
Yeah.
but he looked like a monster. Sub-Zero! Now! Plane Zero!
Fucking Killian, like he's in there, like he's on the fucking set with all the fucking audience and shit, and like they just watched him die, and he's like, another stalker down. What's gonna happen next? We'll be back right after this.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you remember the old lady, the audience member who kept on
Yeah.
like winning the prizes and stuff?
I choose Ben Richards. He's one badass motherfucker. You have to pick a stalker. You can't do that. I can pick anyone I want.
It's mine. I need it. Fuck you, asshole.
It's my cookie.
Why did we start talking about Running Man?
He did.
Oh God, I don't know anymore.
Talking about 1985. Did that come out in 1985?
I don't think so.
All right. My Science Project.
Yes. Sorry to sidetrack us.
No,
Let's
no.
go.
I want to know why that came up. Because I said something, and then you go, man, now you got me thinking about Running Man. And I didn't say anything, but I was like, what?
Wait. Oh no, I'm sorry. Our drink of the show.
Oh, there you go.
There we
Cadre Cola. That's what you were
Okay.
thinking of.
Holy shit.
No.
Oh, shit.
That is.
Fireball.
Fireball.
Thank you, though. That's awesome. Kadri Kuna. But yes, Fireball.
All right, there we go.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me? Good memory. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Demolition Man.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's not blow our wad on all the movies from our childhood.
I know.
Yeah,
We'll have to do Demolition Man one day.
Yeah,
Oh God,
that's a wonderful choice.
God, I want to do it right now.
I got one in my pocket. I'm purposely not going to say the name. So that's our next retro episode.
I do
It's going to be
enjoy-
good.
I do enjoy the surprises on Movies with Ron.
All right. Are you motherfuckers ready for this?
Motherfucking ready.
Yeah.
This is my science project on Movies with Ron.
Go.
All right, so we start off with some logos. Nah, just one. It's the Touchstone logo. All right, so then we get a shot of outer space, okay, and we hear some radio shit going on. The guy's like, so-and-so, this is Interceptor 1. Yes, the bogey is going down. Confirmed, the bogey is going down. And then you hear, fucking crash. That's what that was supposed to be. Yeah. One of y'all do one. Shit.
Sound like a pug. It's off in the distance.
Yeah. That'll do it. And then we just get the title card of the movie, My Science Project. And yeah, we have some eerie music coming in.
It's eerie. It sounds
Yeah.
like 80s, like.
That comes in at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's eerie music. We're in the desert, okay? And there is a car motorcade traveling down this lonely highway. Big old motorcade, all right? And they enter Dawson Air Force Base. All right, there's soldiers at the gate. They're like, hut. You know, fucking salute and shit as the car drives by and everything. And the cars drive up to this big hangar, okay? And then there's a date that fades into the screen. It says 1957.
All right.
So all these soldiers are out there, and this big general goes and greets whoever gets out of the big car, and it turns out to be President Eisenhower. Okay, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I couldn't use the secure line, blah, blah, blah. And then Eisenhower's like, oh, don't worry about it, Max. My golf game's not that good anyway. He's like, well, sir, I think we have I don't know, I think we have a, and then he's like, the president's like, come on, Max, what could be worse than invading Europe? And then General Max just like points his finger like, it's in there. That's what could be worse. They walk inside. It's a fucking UFO in the hangar, okay? And it's covered in weird lights and shit, and it's a little damaged. Eisenhower's looking at it like, what the fuck? And this general's like, oh, yeah, we found it crashed in the desert, sir. You know, he's like, did you find any crew? And he's like, yeah, well, the eggheads, they did find the two bodies of the pilots, and they also removed the engine from the craft, and well, as always, they want time to study it. And then the president just looks at him and he glares at him. He's like, "Get rid of it." Like, fucking president just said, "Get rid of it." Yeah. Fucking weird. The first sign of extraterrestrial life. Make it go away. So immediately the general just like looks at his scientist employees and he just like nods his head like, yep, you heard him. And they walk out the door and immediately those scientists just start cutting it up with a fucking laser. Like a big red laser beam. So then we see a high school in what was then modern day, and it says 1985. And we got Dennis Hopper, and he is the science teacher of this high school. And he's in there, and he's got longish hair, and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you guys an honest curiosity about science, okay? You fucking dicks. I don't do Dennis Hopper's voice. Can't do it. Said maybe that thing from Blue Velvet. Oh, baby wants to fuck. He put his disease in me. So he's like, all right, now tell me about your science projects, guys. Sherman, what's yours? And Sherman is like this like Poindexter bookworm nerd, and he's like, yeah, well, sir, my Mr. Roberts, my project is on the the Gregorian calendar and its accuracy, with the vernal equinox. He's like, yeah, that's good. Ellie, how about you? And she's like, I'm studying the ultraviolet rays and their effect on fungus. And he's like, that sounds really good. That's good. But listen, you guys don't call me Mr. Roberts, okay? Only the pigs call me Mr. Call me Bob. And they all laugh and shit. And then Mike Harlan, played by John Stockwell, like kind of sneaks into the classroom. He's all late and shit. And he sneaks over to his seat, which is right next to Vinny Latello, played by Fisher Stevens.
Yes.
And he sits down. He just like immediately just starts talking to his buddy, even though everybody's being quiet and shit. And Dennis Hopper sees that and he's like, he's not getting away with that. Harlan! Harlan looks over and he's like, what? He's like, your science project? What are you doing it on? How's it coming? And he's like, I'm working on it.
I just realized that's the point of the movie. They need a science project.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why they have this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they went out to the junkyard. All right, here we go. Let's experience it as it runs.
This story was much improved upon with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Nah. All right, so class ends, and Dennis Hopper calls Mike aside, and Vinny, we hear his voice for the first time, and he just like looks at Mike, and he goes, ciao, babe. So then Dennis Hopper's like, come on, Bob. Is like, yeah, Mike, come on, man. I don't like busting your chops, man, but somebody with your mechanical capabilities, you should be doing a cool science project, man. And he's like, I don't know, maybe I could like rebuild a carburetor or something, He's like, nah, man, you can do that in your sleep. Do something original. He's like, look, I don't make the rules, man, but serious, man, no project, no diploma. He's like, yeah, oh God, okay. He's like, don't forget your science final tomorrow. And I don't want to hassle you, man, but, I was your age in the 60s. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm leaving. Not listening to him. He's an ex-hippie and shit. And as Mike leaves, Bob takes a big old pull off of some gas canister he has in there. And he's like, yeah, free love. And then it cuts to Mike and his girlfriend, Crystal, who looks insanely like a very young Lorraine Bracco, but is not. And she is dumping him because, she's talking about Cosmo. She's a real, like, hoity-toity valley girl type.
Yeah.
And she dumps him. And she's like, we're always, I want to be wined and dined, you're always taking me to fucking car shows and drag races and fucking junkyards. I want to be swept off my feet. And then Mike's like, come on, bullshit. And she's like, that is exactly what my Cosmo Romantoscope said you would say. And he's like, Cosmo? And then she looks at him and goes, ta-ta forever, monkey wrench.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck you.
Oh, man.
So she leaves. And then it cuts to that bookworm Sherman, and he's talking to Ellie, the other girl from the class, and he's like, and he's pushing his glasses up with his finger, and he's like, I was just wondering if, if you might want to go to prom with me. And she just goes, we'll talk about it later, Sherman. Hang on a second. And then as Mike is walking by them, she just jumps out in front of him and like snaps his picture. And he's like, what the fuck? And then she's like, aha, finally gotcha. Okay, now I just need some biographical information on you, And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sawyer? And she's like, oh, come on. You're the last picture I needed for the yearbook, and now I need some stats. And she's like, come on. What's your sign? And he goes, Pontiac. And he just walks on. He's leaving like, fuck you. And then she just shouts out behind him, Bimbo leaves Harlan in limbo. And he stops, dead in his tracks. And he turns around and she goes, that sounds like a good yearbook headline, doesn't it? He gets up and he's like, hey, newsflash update, okay? I dumped Crystal, all right? I dumped her. They're like, oh, that's not what we heard.
You're doing a pretty good impression of this dude. Build a carburetor or something.
You build a carburetor or something. And he's like, okay. What do you want? And she's like, what's your major? Auto shop. He's like, how many times have you seen Jedi? He's like, I never saw Jedi. What the fuck? You never saw Jedi? What, have you been under a car for the past 10 years? And he's like, I don't know. She's like, well, what do you like? What do you like? And he's like, I don't know. I like cars. I like Springsteen. I like my goat. And then Sherman's like, goat? And they're like, what the hell? And she's like, yeah, but what? Well, what do you do in your spare time? And then he just turns around and he goes, cars. Bye. And he fucking walks away. And then Sherman just goes, what? Goat! So then it cuts to Mike and Vinny in the auto shop, part of the high school. Okay, and fucking Vinny, he's all like, he's a fucking little New Yorker. He's like, hey, come on, what's the dish, cousin fish? What's going on? What happened? What happened? What do you mean? What's going on? He's like, what do you mean what's going on? With what? With Crystal, man. What happened? And he's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Everybody know about this but me? Or what? He's like, I don't know. She wants to be romanced. He's like, romanced, fuck that. In Brooklyn, with a girl to try that shit, I'd give him a left. Some shit. He's like, you got to get her back. I saw this episode of Dynasty where the guy got her back with like a fucking, like a mink coat or some shit. He's like, she doesn't want a mink coat, man. She doesn't even want me. He's like, taking it pretty hard. Why can't girls be like cars? You put gas in a car and they cruise. I treat her nice. I try to treat her nice. She just leaves me in the dust.
Fucking cars, man. This guy's got a problem.
Yeah. He's from a broken home.
I did like this guy.
Vinny's like, yeah, my old man says treat broads like dirt and they love you. Mike's like, yeah, what does your old lady say? Well, they're divorced. He's like, so what did Sawyer want? I saw her talking to you. What does she want? Fucking yearbook shit. I don't know. He's like, yeah, I hit on her once. And he's like, oh yeah, what happened? And he's like, poor girl. She missed out. Called me a name I had to look up in the dictionary. And then Mike's like, hey, check out this new shit that I just put in my car. It's going to blow Matuski away. Yeah, fuck Matuski. So then it just immediately cuts to, school's over and everybody's driving out of school in their cars. But Ellie is having car trouble and she is holding up the line. Okay. And everybody in school, the entire fucking school, cannot get out of the parking lot because she is stuck in the entrance. And she's got her hood popped up and she's like looking around at her engine and stuff. And then she goes and she purposely sabotages the distributor cap. She just like lifts it off. And everybody's honking and shit. Come on, move. We gotta go. Fuck you. Bam, bam. And then boom, boom, boom. Up comes Mike in the GOAT. Okay? The GOAT, gentlemen, is a character of its own in this fucking movie. 1968 Pontiac GTO HT with a fucking blower on the hood.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful car. It's red. It's fucking amazing. Love it. I have loved it since I was a kid. So he comes up and, gets out of his car and he's like, all right, Sawyer, what's going on? She's like, don't you think if I knew I'd fix it? What?
This fucking guy, man.
And he's like, all right, come on, let's see what's going on here, And then he leans over under the hood. And then we see Sherman in his car back in the line. And he's waiting and it's really hot. And he's just watching what's going on. And he's just talking to himself and he goes, Motorhead Mike. Show off. So then Mike sees what's happening. He goes, oh, great. And then he puts the fucking cap back on it. And he's goes over to Sawyer and he's like, yeah, all right, Sawyer, what's going on here? Distributor caps don't just pop off, okay, by themselves. And she's like, all right, you got me. Now, bear in mind, she's in her car, and he's just talking to her through the driver's side window. They have not moved. The entire school is still like, "Burr, burr." Right? Probably good like 5 to 10 minutes goes by, right? And he's like talking to her, and she's like, all right, you got me. I need you to save me from being voted senior class spinster. And he's like, what? And she's like, be a Boy Scout and give me a date. And he's like, oh, jeez, Sawyer. Too much. And then he's about to walk away. And then he looks over, and in one of the cars, he sees Crystal, that fucking bitch, with her new boyfriend. And they're like kissing and stuff like that and talking. And he's like, yeah, all right. He's like, all right, Sawyer. Yeah, okay, you got it. All right, 8 o'clock tonight. Be ready out in front of your house. Outside. And she's like, wait, outside? Don't you want to meet my parents? And he's like, no way. And she's like, I take it. At this point, they should have been done, and she should have driven away. But she's just like, I take it you're better with cars than you are with people. He's like, hey, you know what? If you don't want to do this, you can go study. And she's like, no. Okay, 8 o'clock, outside. And he's like, oh, yeah, one more thing. You read this Cosmo? And she's like, oh, that rag? No way. And he's like, good. He's walking away, and she's like, Harlan. And he turns around, like, oh, what? And she's like, my name's Ellie, not Sawyer. He's like, right. So then she pulls out, and then it shows Sherman, and he's like sweating in his car. And he's got a Jeep full of the school bullies right behind him, and they just like pull up and bump his fucking car. Boom. Like, come on, move that piece of shit. And then this one guy gets on a fucking megaphone and just goes, move it, gonad. So then it cuts to Mike getting home, and he lives in a little apartment on top of his father's hardware store. So he walks into his house, and his dad is in there with this weird lady who's like wearing like too much makeup, but they obviously just met, and they obviously really like each other. Okay, they got Chinese takeout all over the place. His dog is sitting there, and the couple are trying to get a little frisky. Okay, and they're like, oh, Mike, I didn't expect you home so early, son. Why don't you meet Dolores? Okay, now she's a sales representative for and she's like, Betty Joe. Betty Joe Cosmetics. And he's like, yeah, that's great. We got some takeout here. Why don't you sit down with us? Yeah, no, I got a date, so I'll just take a beer. He's like, 16 maybe. This was the 80s. It's fine.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, it was nice to meet you, Louise. And then he fucking walks away, and she's like looking at the guy, and she's like, Louise? What the fuck? So then it cuts to Dawson Air Force Base, and it is 1985, and it is run the fuck down. Okay, it's a fucking junkyard now. Now it's like an airfield junkyard. Nothing but old planes and garbage and shit like that, right? It's all dark. So that's where Mike took Ellie for their date. And she's like dressed all nice, and they're like sneaking under the fence, and she's like, what the hell are we doing in a junkyard? He's like, oh, it's not a junkyard, I used to be an old military testing ground, but now they just store all their junk here, which makes it a junkyard.
Yeah.
And she's like, breaking and entering on our first date? Doesn't anyone wine and dine a girl anymore? So they're sneaking and they're running around, and there's a guard in the guardhouse, and he's just like watching TV because he doesn't give a shit. She's like, what are we fucking doing here, man? And he's like, I gotta find something to pass off for my science project.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's his whole reason there. Like, I just figured, I could find something here. And you know what? I thought you wanted to be like a reporter or something. And she's like, yeah, maybe. And he's like, well, think about it. Like, everything here's got a story. And she's like, I didn't think about it like that. So now she's okay.
Okay.
So they're walking and they're sneaking around, and then Mike all of a sudden just falls through a fucking trapdoor in the ground. Okay? And he like hits the ground down underneath, and she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, just toss me that light. Okay? So he starts looking around, and he finds that he is in this old 1950s fallout shelter. Okay? And there's like weird posters on the wall of like Eisenhower and like fallout shit, and you can prevent nuclear fallout. You can protect yourself, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he's looking around, and then he sees this fucking, he like turns around, and then behind him on the shelf right in front of him is a fucking Gila monster. You know what that shit is? That's that fucking black and orange fucking desert lizard. And they're like fucking scary as shit looking. They're gross looking. Oh man, I can't stand that shit. So he gets scared and he falls back. Okay. And, I don't know, he's getting up or something, and he turns around and he sees something glowing, purple, pulsating, glowing. The fucking guard, he like gets up, he's walking around the junkyard with his dog and shit. Terminator! Okay. So then Mike pulls out this glowing thing, and it's the device, okay, that is after now it is forever referred to as the Gizmo in the movie. And what it is it's like these two weird boxy looking, halves of it, but in the center is one of those lightning balls that you can still find in like Spencer's in the mall and shit like that, okay?
Yeah.
You touch it with your fingers, and then the lightning like touches your fingers and shit. And it's all weird. Mm-hmm. That was like brand new technology back in 85. So that is the flux capacitor of this movie.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I actually remember like drawing pictures of this shit in school.
Oh man,
I know that sucks. I shouldn't have said that.
no, it's okay.
You didn't.
It just kind of affirmed my weirdness in school. Yeah, I was drawing.
You would
stupid
draw
shit.
the gizmo?
Yeah,
Okay.
like for assignments and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Like draw something you like or something like that. Like that's what I draw. So he's checking it out with his flashlight, the gizmo, and his flashlight like shorts out. A little bit of electricity that goes like right into the flashlight. It's blue. Okay, and he's like, "What the hell?" Okay, Ellie sees a rat and she fucking screams, and then the guard is like, "Oh shit, fucking people are in here!" So he starts running. Mike gets out. She's up on top of an airplane wing, and he's like, "Come on, we gotta fucking go." And she's like, "I'm not getting down there with those rats." And he's like, "There's worse thing than rats." And then the guard's like, "You kids, get the fuck over here. Stay where you are." And she's like, "Like what?" And he's like, "Jail." And they just fucking run. Anyway, they escape. They get away. They're driving down the lonely highway, driving back to town, and then the car fucking dies in a little electrical blue little charge happens. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, "What the fuck?" And he checks the hood. He opens the hood, and then everything is like fucking sparking and blowing. Okay. And he's like, "What the hell?" And she's like, "Oh Jesus, it's lucky we're close to town." And he's like, "Oh yeah, how's that lucky?" And she's like, "Well, we can walk." And he's like, "No way. I'm staying here. If I walked into town, the whole world would know I broke down." She's like, "Come on, it happens to everybody." And he's like, "Not to me." So he flags down a truck, and the trucker's like, "You guys okay?" And he's like, "Let me use your radio." And on the fucking CB radio, he calls Vinny, who's got one in his own car. Okay. And at the moment, he is in the back of his car, which is like a shitty little jalopy. Okay. But it's kind of tricked out. It's funny. You'll see that in a second. And he's getting it on with his girlfriend, Renee, who's like this punk chick.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, my partner needs me. I gotta go." And she's like, "So what am I, kryptonite?" So then it shows him pushing the goat. Okay. You guys know why it's called a goat?
Why?
Growing up, I always thought that it was just his nickname for his car, but it's all GTOs. On Pontiac GTOs, they call them goats. So Vinny's pushing the goat with his car, and inside the goat, Mike's like, "You want a sip?" She's like, "I don't like beer." And then back in Vinny's car, Renee is like, "Oh shit, Sawyer and Harlan, wait till Crystal finds out about this shit." Then this scene happens where there's this pickup truck pulls up behind him, and they're like going too slow. And he's like, "Come on, honk, 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 honk. Come on, move that piece of shit." And then fucking Vinny just goes, "Sit on this, butt plug." And he like flips a switch on his dash. And then on the back of his car, this fucking like lit up middle finger just rises up.
Oh, shit, I remember that.
And is in view of the driver behind him. And then you hear the guy just go, "What's that, your IQ? Come on, move it." Then it cuts to Sherman, okay? And this part, I was like, as a kid, I was just like, "Oh yeah, he's a nerd, so he's got like technology and stuff." But like watching it as an adult, I'm like, this is some creepy shit that Sherman was doing. They pull up, okay, outside of Ellie's house, and Sherman is in the bushes with like bionic ears, and fucking like weird infrared night vision
Yeah.
goggles. Like he's like staking out Ellie's house.
Yeah.
Okay. As a kid, I was just like, oh, he's a nerd, techno geek.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he was fucking prowling in her yard.
Fucking perv.
Yeah, man. And then out from the bushes behind him come all the bullies from the Jeep. And they just like sneak up with him, like they're with him. Like he called them there. And they're like, oh, Motorhead Mike broke down. Yeah, wait till we spread this around school. Because that's like the worst thing that can happen in school.
Yeah.
And then Ellie's talking to Mike. She's like, I had a really nice time. And he's like, what? She's like, no, you know what? It was a surprise. Like you, Harlan. And then she's leaving and he's like, hey, it's Michael. Okay? And she's like, yeah, all right. Good night. And then the bullies and Sherman are talking. And like, oh, I thought you had dibs on Sawyer Sherman. You guys are both fucking nerds. He's like, do we have a deal or not? And they're like, oh, messing with Mike and Vinny, that's going to cost you. And he's like, oh, how much? And then one of them goes, 1 video cassette. And they're like, oh, a fucking term paper, a science project. That fucking guy was like, a video cassette. 1.
Was that something to barter with back then?
That was like hot shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember back then, if you lost a video that you rented, you had to pay $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he want like a blank one?
No, man. I don't fucking know. Who cares? So then, cuts to Vinny and Mike, and they're underneath his car fixing it. And Renee's all pissed off, and so she leaves because her date got fucked up. And then Vinny is talking to Mike, and he goes, hey, I saw this movie once where this haunted car flames guys out.
Mm-hmm.
So he referenced Christine to John Stockwell. He's like, God, what shorted out the electrical system? So Vinny's like, what's this gizmo in the back here? What's this? He's like, I figured I could I don't know, shine it up or something and like pass it off as my science project. He's like, yeah, good luck. You're going to need it. All right, I'll see you tomorrow at the final. All right, man. So they leave, and then the gizmo's like glowing in the back seat, pulsating. So the next day they're in fucking typing class, okay? In high school, all right? And fucking Vinny is sitting at his typewriter. Everybody's typing at like typing speed. And he's like hunting and pecking because fuck this. All right? Not only that, but he's like wearing sunglasses in the classroom, and he's got a big fucking unlit cigar hanging out of his mouth. Like he was just like so cool. So they're in the auto shop, and Mike is shining the gizmo up. Okay, he's cleaning it up, and then he accidentally touches this button. Then the side opens up or something. Okay, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he like touches the other side. It opens up, and as it opens up, it goes like, and he's like, "Oh!" And then he like pushes the sides back in, and you can hear that it like charged the unit. Then it like fucking a little piece of it like turns around, and then all of a sudden the fucking ball, which has thus far just been like kind of glowing purple, is now like full on lightning ball.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's like, oh my god, Vinny, look at this. What the fuck is that? He's like, I don't know. What, like an engine maybe? Looks like an engine. And then it shorts out Vinny's boombox. And he's like, oh man, I just put fresh batteries in it. And then all of a sudden it lets out this big blue fucking pulse that like fills the room. Okay? They're like, what the fuck? What the hell was that? And then a Grecian urn just materializes next to it. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? What's going on here? I don't know, Mike. And they hooked it up to a car battery and shit. That's what made all that shit happen. So then the bell rings. Other kids are coming in, so they got to like hide that shit in their auto shop baskets with their names on it, and then they leave and then go outside, and they're looking at the clock, and they're like, what the fuck? That clock's got to be wrong. It's like, no, yeah, well then why is everybody fucking leaving like school's over, huh? And he's like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, we're 2 hours in the future, goddammit. What the fuck? And like, they don't fucking get it. As they were walking out of the auto shop, they didn't see it, but up in the wall above them, jammed into the wall, was like this weird looking battle axe.
Oh, yeah.
That had also like appeared. So he's like, yeah, holy shit, we're 2 years into the future. Woo! He's like, shut up, come on.
Hey, everybody. Sorry to interrupt.
What?
Yeah, it's Chris here with Ron.
Yep.
This is the end of part 1.
What the fuck?
Oh, man, I know. But if any episode had to be split into 2 parts, it's this one.
'Cause it's so long.
'Cause it's so great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to leave people in temptation. I want them to wait. I want them to want us.
Fuck yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. There you go, guys. That concludes part 1 of our Thanksgiving 2-part special of My Science Project on Movies with Ron.
Don't forget, if you're listening on iTunes, open up that app and hit the reviews tab and leave us a rating or review if you like what you hear.
You got any reviews?
Yeah. Guy named Cobra Commander.
All right.
He says, "Love this podcast." 3 exclamation points. "They are able to make even bad movies seem enjoyable, even though they are wrong about the Resident Evil movies." And then in parentheses, "Those movies are cinematic gold and should be preserved for all time."
All right. Fuck him.
Yeah. The hell is that? He ends it with wubba lubba dub dubs.
I think I know who that is. All right. Thanks, Cobra Commander. You rock. We love you.
Yeah. Much obliged. Hey, so we had a birthday party
We did.
like a week ago.
Yeah.
Me and Rick were on our way there.
Uh-huh.
I was telling him how my car could make the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I was thinking, there's one of those 2 people in the car, but there's a little silence going on. And I'm thinking, and I go, there should be a Kessel Run movie.
Oh, yeah.
And Rick is like, holy fucking shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we spent the whole rest of the ride there pitching a Kessel Run movie, which, because they're making all these anthology movies.
Yeah, well, they got that Han Solo one coming out.
That's the thing, is like, we came up with all these ideas, and we were like, it's probably most of it's going to be in the Han Solo movie.
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
But we pitched this Kessel Run movie where it's all wacky races.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all vehicle centric. Like Han Solo's got Millennium Falcon. At some point, Chewbacca does not know Han. He's got his own ship.
Uh-huh.
And at some point, they have to, like, combine forces
Yeah.
and beat Boba Fett. I don't know. Like, that's why Boba Fett hates him. But,
It's probably going to go about as well as the pod racing went in the Phantom Menace.
yeah, this is a whole movie of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone hated the pod racing, but if you had a movie that was just pod racing, and it was like a road movie, but like in the Star Wars universe, why don't they start doing that, you know? Different kinds of genres. Like the new Han Solo movie is, they went on record, it's a heist movie.
I read it was a Western.
Yeah? I
Yeah.
read it was a heist.
All right, cool.
Maybe it's a Western heist.
There's the best kind.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's been fun.
All right, everybody. We love you.
All right, see you next week.
Bye.
Movies with Ron.